FM104 Sport.
Obviously, it wasn't a great place to be. We're a team of lads who kind of are very competitive, by our nature. I'm sure most sports people are, and with that, then you don't like that feeling of being beaten. And yeah, so it was a somber enough dressing room. So over the next couple of weeks now, we can kind of, I suppose, reflect on a little bit, and hopefully maybe take something from it.
And has there been any point at all in which you've kind of looked back and kind of tried to analyse what exactly went wrong?
Not too much yet. Just your own kind of views on how the game went. Look, we played reasonably well in the first half, especially at the start of the game. Anyway, we started very strongly. Thought we were in control. And then we ended the game fairly strongly as well, which we've been kind of doing of late. But it was that middle patch there, and especially after half time when Kerry dominated the game, and we turned over way too much ball. So so it's disappointing now, to say the least. Nobody likes losing the final as well. But so.
And I suppose then when you're looking, when you do eventually properly look back over the game, proper analysis of it and what you can improve from, I assume it's pretty much the same from other matches, whether you win, whether you lose, whether you draw. It's kind of all the same process and take everything the same way.
Yeah, so even if we win a game and it goes well, you'll always kind of review it to see is there any areas that you can improve on. You also try to extract pieces of the plays and stuff like that went well. And try and reinforce the learning there from that. But it'll be no different. We'll review the game individually and maybe review it again collectively, and then try and take learnings from it and take key parts of our game that weren't maybe working well, but also looking at kind of why a part is at the start and at the end we do play very well. So so that's kind of what you try to get from a review.
And I was talking to Philly McMahon just before the final last week, and I was asking him about this unbeaten record. Now, obviously, as players, nobody ever goes out to lose a game or to perform badly or whatever. But there was that focus of that unbeaten run was nearly in every headline. That's all the pre-match focus was ever about. It's all post-match focus was ever about. Did the Dubs manage to maintain that unbeaten run? In a strange way, is it kind of nice to have that feeling off your shoulder? Because he was saying that, look, that he was nearly sick of reading the headlines about unbeaten runs and all of that type of stuff. I know it's a pretty weird way of analysing it, but is it nice to have that monkey off the back?
Well, personally, for me, it makes no difference whatsoever. I didn't think anything about any records. It didn't resonate with me at all. I kind of thought it was more of a kind of a media kind of thing, whereby it was something that grew momentum there. Maybe the fans saw it was a good thing. I'm not saying it was a negative thing, but I didn't let it affect my game, or I don't think it affected our game. But again, if maybe one or two players were thinking about it, well then maybe it was affected. But I don't think it was. I don't think it was a.
And I suppose it's one of the things that Jim Gavin has done so well over the last number of years is that any of these kind of outside factors are put to rest with him straight away. All this talk of 5 league titles in a row, all of these championship wins in a row, that's all out the door with you.
Yeah, it is. And in a way it has to be, and it has to be for players, and it's across every sport really. It's important that you're able to kind of keep in your own kind of in a bubble, kind of this is to kind of stay away from any kind of talk like that, because if you kind of get engaged in that kind of conversation, you're not concentrating on what your job is, and the job is to perform on the pitch, and to perform in training. And if you're getting kind of engaged and stuff like that, well then it's not good for that preparation.
Does winning, what was it? It was 36 wins. You were looking for win number 37. Does that type of does winning make players a little bit soft or a little more open to defeat?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think we've come through a number of tough challenges over the last number of weeks, whereby we kind of, our mental resolve or our will to, survive kind of got us over the line or got us back into a game. And I think the key thing for us is, regardless of anything else, is trying to get the performance piece right, and trying to get, like, for a whole totality of a game to actually play to our kind of to the level that we can play to, and just kind of try and maintain that then, So I think that's the key for us, is just to try and concentrate on getting that performance piece right, and then once that happens, then you would like to think that the results and everything else will just look after themselves.
And obviously the one main difference between this league season and the last season was the preparation that you guys would have had for it. I mean, like, obviously this year you guys went on your holiday much later than you would have last year, and therefore just weren't available for the O'Byrne Cup, and other guys got their opportunities. Is there a kind of a feeling now that the league is over, looking back on it, that maybe perhaps there was a little bit of rustiness within the squad when you guys came back, considering that you had no real kind of game time to get going?
Yeah, like I would agree with that. I don't think we had a pre-season, which is vitally important, and the fact that we were away, and that had to be done as well, and I think we got a lot. We probably would have got a lot from the league, considering that, but now we have the opportunity whereby we're going back to our clubs for, I think it's maybe 4 weeks altogether, playing 2 rounds of club championship. Then we'll come back then, and we'll probably have a nice run in to enable us to get a block of work in, to work on our fitness, to work on any areas that we need to kind of zone in on, and then attack the Leinster Championship then with a good kind of, let's say, a pre-season under our belt, a pre-championship season under our belt. And I think that'll definitely stand to us. But I think also the games that we had against Division 1 teams over the last number of weeks will stand to us too, and we'll learn from those and carry kind of any learnings then into the championship.
And you mentioned the club championship there, and it was a Fingalians open their championship campaign next week away against Skerries Harps. Is it hard to switch focus from county back to club after a run like that?
I think it's harder at the end of the season. I don't think it's as hard now. I can't wait to get back, to be honest with you. We've got like a nice young team there, and we're playing against a team, Skerries, who are Division 1, we're Division 3. And the pressure's really on kind of them, to get the win. But we can go out. It's our first time back in senior championship now, after winning the intermediate championship last year, and we can go out and just kind of have a good go at it. And I'm really looking forward to it, because, as I say, we've a lovely young team there, and I love any chance I get to get back to the club. I love it so. And when we're in the middle of a season, I feel like you can really offer more, because the fitness levels are good. You're still minding yourself, and I'll be training hard throughout the next number of weeks. So I always feel I can offer a lot more this time of year as well.
And there was one of the things that was brought through in the Congress earlier on this year was the changing of the structure of the championship to the Super 8 structure for next year, of course. Is that a prospect that excites you? That's something different, because I mean, in the media, in post-match interviews from other county managers or players, there's been a call for change for a long time.
Yeah, like there has been, and I think, like, as players, I can speak for the lads in our panel, and I can definitely speak for myself. And this one is, like, I love the league, and I love the league because you've got games, coming quick and coming fast, and you kind of just the training loads aren't as high, so you're just training for games, and it's very enjoyable as a player, week on week, playing very competitive games at that. So the structure, there's been changes made to the structure, and if that creates more kind of high quality games, it would be great. But I suppose time will tell how it works out, but no, like, change is always difficult as well. Like, no one, people are always kind of against it, or they're not too sure about it until it's really implemented. I'm sure there was probably similar kind of uprest when they brought in the qualifier system, or in the back door in the initial stages. So I just don't know. We'll see how it goes. But I'm always open to embracing new things anyway.
And just I'm looking at, like, the Club Players Association had said that the introduction of the Super 8, they say, will do nothing for the plight of a club player. Is that something that you can kind of sympathise with, kind of coming both from from the inter-county scene and from a club player's point of view?
Yeah. I'm not too sure how it's going to affect the club scene yet, because I haven't looked at it enough. But like, it's just hard. Like, there's a lot going on there at the club that needs to be assessed, because like, we're back with our clubs for 5 weeks now. I know it's very difficult to fit in games and hurling and football on, but like, I may only have one game and I'm back with them for 5 weeks, you know. So and I'm sure, and like, the weather's getting better. Like, lads want to play football now, and we're into April and we've played 2 club games, two league games, you know. So, you know, there's probably. We could play a few more, you know, that kind of way. Like, I know the lads are mad for a few games, you know. So, but I'm just not too sure, you know.
I'll finish up in a minute. Just to bring back to the Kerry game afterwards, Eamon Fitzmaurice was saying that the loss on Sunday in Croke Park will probably bring a freshness now to Dublin's build up to the championship. Would you agree with that?
I'm not too sure, like, what he means by that. Look, what we'll do is we reflect on the game. You know, like, we have to accept that on the day the better team won. Kerry were the better team on the day, and they're going into championship now. You know, with a spring in their step, and, you know, probably fancy themselves now going forward, you know, to win the Sam. But we'll have to go back now and kind of take the positives, as I said, from what good we got from the league, and also then kind of look to areas where we can improve and get a good block of work done when we come back, and really attack the Leinster Championship and then just build on it from there.
And just finally, it was a very special day in your house quite recently. Both yourself and Fiona both heading out to Croke Park together, playing matches before and after each other.
Yeah.
Is that something you'd like to see happen more often? That, you know, when there is, okay, maybe take it, for example, when the men's and the women's leagues are running kind of side by side, that any time there's a Dublin billing, that there should be a women's billing before or even after that.
Yeah, I think it's great. Like, you know, I think it creates a great buzz, in particular around the ladies' game, which, you know, like, I see it firsthand, the commitment and the training that they put in, you know, and it's the same level of training and commitment that us as the lads that are putting in. If not more, you know, at times. So, you know, they have to be rewarded for that. And like, for games like that to go ahead in front of our game, you know, it gives exposure to the ladies' game. And if you go out and watch their games, they're brilliant, you know, and very skillful, high skill levels, and very competitive games. So, you know, they've got semi-final league coming up now against Cork. It'd be nice to see kind of some of the great fans that we have gone travelling down to kind of support them. Like, we played 3 away games this year, and they were Clones, Tralee, and in Donegal, and the support we had was phenomenal. Like, you know, and all throughout the league, the support that we get is phenomenal. So it'd be great to see, you know, some of them fans going down and supporting the ladies as well, because, you know, the Dublin fans are, I think, the best fans around the country.
It would be a nice change of scenery for them as well, because if you take some of the home games, I think they played in Parnell Park, one of their games earlier on in the season, but more often than not, it's club grounds dotted around, and as good as that might be for the clubs, to get to play in Croke Park would be something special, would be something to look forward to more, and to kind of, I suppose, increase the motivation then to play to that standard.
Yeah, and like, if you think about the All-Ireland finals played in Croke Park every year, and there'd be 40,000 people there, and there'd be kids of all ages there, girls and boys, watching this, and especially for the girls who are watching that, it'll inspire them to want to go out there and play and represent their counties. So it's only going to increase the levels, the playing population at that age. And, you know, there's a lot of competition out there at different sports, trying to engage young people in playing the games. So, you know, that's why putting our games in a HQ in Croke Park and putting the ladies' games there is great to kind of, you know, sell the games to the kids, you know.